Hello, friends, fellow Canadians. I'm Christopher M. Michaud. Welcome to the podcast. This is The Canadianist. There's been a lot of talk lately about how things feel off in Canada. Not broken, but not right. Gas prices keep climbing every day. Grocery bills are still out of control. Housing is eating up much more of people's income than it ever should. People are working just as hard, and it feels like they're falling behind anyway. And on top of that, there's a growing frustration. People feel like they're not being heard. Like no matter what they do, nothing really changes. So everyone starts looking around for someone to blame. Each other, the government, different regions, different groups. But that's not actually the problem. The problem is that Canada is out of alignment. The country has changed. The system hasn't kept up. In my lifetime, Canada has more than doubled its population. It's become more complex, more diverse, and more politically varied. But the way we choose our governments has barely changed at all. And that's where things start to break down, because we're still using a system that was designed for a much simpler country. First past the post. Whoever gets the most votes wins, even if most people voted for someone else. And in a country with multiple parties, that creates a serious problem. Votes get split. One party wins with 30, maybe 40%, but the majority of voters chose someone else. And all of those votes don't count. They're effectively thrown away. So what you end up with are governments that most people didn't actually vote for. And people feel it. They feel like their vote doesn't matter. They feel disconnected. They feel politically homeless. And that's not because they don't care. It's because the system isn't representing them properly. People often compare this to the United States. But that's a mistake. The American system is built around two parties, Democrats and Republicans. So even with the same voting method, there's usually a clear winner and a clear loser. In Canada, we don't have that. We have 3, 4, 5 more parties. And first past the post can't handle that reality. So the more our country evolves, the worse the mismatch becomes. And that's the problem. And that's why things are feeling off. Now here's the part that matters. There is a better way. We don't have to scrap the system. We just have to update it so it actually reflects how Canadians vote. That system is called mixed member proportional, MP. And it's straightforward. You get 2 votes. One for your local representative, just like today. That part doesn't change. And one for the party you want to govern the country. At the end of the election, the local seats are filled the same way they always have been. Then we add top-up seats, about 70 of them. Those seats are used to balance the result so that the final makeup of Parliament actually reflects how people voted across the country. If a party gets 30% of the vote, they end up with roughly 30% of the seats. Now, your vote doesn't get wasted. Even if your local candidate doesn't win, your second vote still counts toward who governs. So people in so-called safe ridings finally have a voice. People stop feeling like their voice goes into the garbage, and the results actually reflect the country we are. Not a simplified version of it. Now, we've heard this before. Electoral reform was promised years ago and dropped. They said there wasn't consensus. But let's be honest about why it didn't happen. The current system benefits the parties that win under it. Changing it means giving up some of that advantage. But the goal of a democracy isn't to protect parties. It's to represent the people. And right now, we're not doing that well enough. Canada isn't broken, but it is out of alignment. And if we want things to feel right again, we have to fix how we translate votes into representation. It's time to change how we vote. If this resonates with you, if this feels like what you've been seeing but couldn't quite put it into words, then I invite you to continue the conversation at thecanadianist.news. And to find out more about the United Canadian Centrists and our vision for Canada's future, visit uccparty.ca. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss the next episode. I'm Christopher M. Michaud, and I'm a Canadianist.